a moment of silence for our uncle, Simon Strong, who wanted nothing more than to just have a little nosh and dress really well in his haunted castle. Hi guys, it's Jessica. Welcome and welcome back to the Not Carrie Bradshaw YouTube channel. In this video, we are kikiing about season 3, episode 2 of House of the Dragons, aka Dim Dragons, aka House of Dragons, however you refer to it. We're here, we're ready to talk about it, okay? I am obsessed with how well this season is going. We started off with a bang. The bang keeps going. We're just banging through. I feel like the theme of this episode was the cost of war or the cost of ruling. It was like for every victory, there was a really shitty side to it. So it was like double-edged swords all the way through. So, Rhaena at long last got the dragon that she always wanted and then fucked around and killed Jace. Lord Corlys won his battle against that crazy white lady, but he lost his ancestral home. Alan and Adam now have a relationship with Lord Corlys, but again, it was at the cost. It came at such a high cost. Jace died in this war, right? Which is why everyone was very excited to hear Lord Corlys say the line from the book, which is, "If this be victory, I pray I never win another." And then, by the end, Rhaenyra finally sits upon the Iron Throne, and you can see in real time how conflicted she is with everything that she's had to do to get here, and you see her question whether or not it's worth it. I have to give a shout out to the performance. My God, the despair, the grief, the confusion at seeing Jace's body, for her to be saying, "Jace, what have you done?" as if he's not dead, the way that it took time for her brain to catch up with what she was actually seeing, and the point at which she even looks to Missaria like, "What do I do?" And I'm sorry, but Missaria looks like she keeps getting the ick all throughout, and I never noticed her accent does kind of flip-flop. People were talking about that on Twitter, and I was like, damn, I can't place her accent, but that's neither here nor there. When Rhaenyra says the line to Daemon about, the children who hid their faces in my skirt are dead, also that I can sit upon the Iron Throne. Like, is this worth it? And he recalls to her the Song of Fire and Ice, which is what her father shared with her. And he says that he sees a young Targaryen girl like in the wilderness alone with the dragons, and we know that he's talking about Daenerys, but we also know that they screwed us over with where her storyline went in the ending of Game of Thrones, but we won't go through that again because I can't endure the trauma again. The way that Raina pulled back up to her auntie's house is so crazy to me, and the way that lady was like, "Don't come back here, I told you not to go there." And the fact that Sheep Stealer is just in the back looking like, "Hey, bro, I can't even call it." I found it to be hilarious, but also really sad because, again, this is everything that she thought that she wanted, which was a dragon. And so much bad happened. So the best that her aunt can do is allow her to just like hide out in the woods, because even though Bela is the only person who really saw her as the rider, there's no telling what's going to happen when someone's going to piece it together. Someone's going to piece it together and they're going to come looking for her. And I don't blame her auntie. She's safe in the Vale, in the Eyrie. She don't want no smoke. And so I find it funny, like when we think back to Game of Thrones, like Lysa Arryn never really wanted to leave the Vale. Whoever is there, they seem to just want to stay there. Maybe, I don't know, it's where they feel the safest, which makes sense because it is kind of impregnable. It's hard to get to. I felt like even Daemon winning the battle at the Red Fork. He won, but then he gets the news that Jace has died, so he has to go back to King's Landing. So he tells, all these people, I'll see y'all on the other side. Rhaenyra has to go claim her throne. Old boy done left with Vhagar. So now's our time to strike. And when he gets back to Dragonstone, the fact that Daemon and Mysaria are kind of beefing, and Mysaria says, I hope that you'll send for me, it does kind of make me, now I'm kind of with Daemon. I'm kind of questioning, like, are you here for our girl for real? Or are you just, is this another just opportunity for you? Daemon got me questioning her now too. I am absolutely freaked out at the fact that Alice Rivers wants Harrenhal, and Daemon denied it to her because he's like, you don't have a family name, you don't have a husband, we can't just give a woman a castle. That's like not how it works. And she does not like this news at all and tells him, don't you bring your ass back over here. I am terrified of what's going to happen when Alice and Aemon link up. The fact that he came in there and killed our wonderful dripped out uncle. A moment of silence for our uncle, Simon Strong, who wanted nothing more than to just have a little nosh and dress really well in his haunted castle. Why couldn't he just have a moment of peace? Why didn't he just deserve that? That kind of pisses me off, to be honest. But the fact that Aemon was kind of undone by one of these, like, presumably weak sons just stabbing him with like a butter knife, I want him to die. I want that to be his undoing, but I'm sure Alice is going to in some way help him, and I'm terrified of what that's going to look like for our people. I cannot begin to tell you how much I loved seeing Rhaenyra and Daemon walk into the Red Keep in lockstep. It was giving Belly, it was giving Nas and DMX hype Williams. I was so hyped for the fact that I love that Daemon does not use his dragon solely to fight. He is boots on the ground. He is hand-to-hand combat. And I love that Rhaenyra did not have to lift a finger, that he is actually finally in full service to her and what she rightfully deserves. But I have always kind of had a problem with even fictionalized monarchies. And it's also one of the reasons why I loved Arya Stark so much, because these women are in very vulnerable positions, why did it never occur to anyone to teach these women how to defend themselves? And this is just, again, how patriarchy just screws you over, because it's like, well, good ladies aren't supposed to know how to do that, and they're supposed to just rely on these men for their protection. But we can see with what happened with Alicent when Lord Wilde caught her conspiring with the Gold Cloaks. He wanted to go in there, he assaulted her, and she fought back. But it's like these women are at the mercy of the men around them all the time. So it's like, why did it never occur to anybody to just teach them some simple tips and tricks of how to survive when horrible men become horrible? I have a serious question. Do you guys think that Peter Baelish is more cunning than Larys? Because the fact that he's playing both sides, that he locked Otto Hightower away like Rapunzel until Daemon came back to claim him. And I genuinely did not see that coming. I felt like he would, and there's no reason why I shouldn't have seen it coming, because no one is precious in this universe. But I just felt like he was too pivotal of a character for them to actually kill him. And the fact that Rhaenyra had such a hard time killing him harkens back to the previous seasons when her dad had a hard time killing that stag in the forest. It's like, these are people who at their core do not want to harm people. They don't have the penchant for killing that Daemon does, right? Tell you what else I like. I like that Daemon cuts people's heads off mid-sentence. I thought that was great. Lord Wilde, he couldn't have got that man up out of here quick enough. I was absolutely thrilled with that. I love the scene of the dragons flying into King's Landing. It was just, I'm always so excited to see these majestic CGI creatures. I love I just love the dragon so much. Oh my gosh. Vagar could use a little neck job. And I don't want to, I don't want to be an ageist here because, you know, she's like 400 years old. You know, this is just evidence of a life well lived. But like, they got to give my girl a little neck job, a little facelift, do a little something for her. Buccal fat, whatever. Do something for my girl. Yeah. Um, the other thing that I found particularly enjoyable was all the black people on the beach together. I just loved that. Allegedly, Bayla might start going with Alan, and I would love to see that. Here's my question though. He said to Alan, Lord Corliss said to Alan that he doesn't have an ancestral home to give him, but he can give him his name. Is he also going to give Adam his name too? And can we also talk about how good Adam looked riding on that dragon? Just the hottie of the episode. He was the hottie of the episode, okay? Because I'm never going to see what all of you see in the attractiveness, the alleged attractiveness of Damon. It's just not there for me. The character is very brooding and cool, but he's just not hot to me. To me, I don't see what y'all see. Helena is such a precious girl, and she is so reluctant to step into any semblance of her power. And Allison is like, this is the last kid I got that I might be able to save. Let's figure something out. But I feel like the fact that she saw that caterpillar out of season is an omen of something. She is such a witchy person. Between her and Alice, it's like they just know things that no one else knows, and I want to know what they know. I'm very invested in the storyline. The hijinks that's happening with Varys and Aegon, I don't know what that is. Will stay tuned. It just looked like hijinks ensued. I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of that. Best of luck to everyone involved, I guess. I cannot speak enough about how well this role is being played by Emma Darcy. Like, when Rhaenyra finally sits on the throne, you see the discomfort, you see the apprehension, you see the sorrow, you see in real time how she goes from feeling guilty and ashamed and questioning if she did the right thing by killing Otto Hightower when she sees Allison's face, and you can see her settle into, no, I did the right thing. I did what I was supposed to have done, you know, and what about it? And I'm just like, is this going to finally be her descent into madness? Because if it is very, very well earned. And the scene when they're in the throne room and they're going up against the King's Guard, and it's just Rhaenyra and Daemon back to back, and Daemon was just like, stay close to me, because I guess we're gonna figure it out. And the fact that the gold cloaks came in, it was giving very much the Knights of the Vale in my favorite episode of Game of Thrones, Battle of the Bastards. So all in all, I really enjoyed this episode, not just because of the action and the intrigue, but because there was just this larger theme of the cost of war. Is this all worth it? Right? And I know for me personally, I'm just not that competitive of a person. I would have been like, y'all got it. Do whatever y'all want to. I'm going to be over here. So the fact that Rhaenyra feels compelled to even stay in the game after losing so much and enduring so much pain and trauma, I think is a testament, again, to the acting. Because the acting and the writing, because I would have tapped out so long ago. I'd been like, y'all got it. Y'all can have whatever y'all want to. Here got the keys. I would have left. I would have went to High Garden and just big boy kicked it somewhere peacefully. I can't live like that. The final look that is exchanged between Rhaenyra and Allison, it was just so powerful. Like, so much was said that wasn't said. And that line when she says, bring the usurper to me, I'm like, she is in her bag. Give my girl her things. Give my girl her things. And I know that the actor is non-binary. I'm talking about Rhaenyra. Give Rhaenyra her things. She deserves everything. Even though I know this probably isn't going to end well for her. We're all aware. I'm still rooting for her. Okay? I'm still rooting for her. It is funny though, because the guy who plays Otto Hightower was like, they're both war criminals. Both sides are war criminals. You should be rooting for both of them to lose. And I was like, fair fucking point, my guy. I am sad that we're not going to see him anymore, though. That guy, he is such a phenomenal actor. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Kingsman, but like the origin story of The Kingsman, he plays Rasputin. Phenomenal. I mean, one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life. So, anywho, that's all I got. Slide in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about this episode, what you're expecting for the season. Keep it very cute. Be sure to like and comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for episode 3.